More falsities from President Biden yesterday, falsely claiming that inflation worldwide is worse than it is in the United States. In fact, that's just not true. A Fox Business fact check shows our 8.6% May inflation rate is higher than it is in countries such as Japan, Germany, France, all developed economies. Similar situation the other day when he said that we're the fastest growing in the world. We are actually in a contraction right now. Joining me right now is Wisconsin Senator Sen Johnson. He's a member of the Homeland Security, Foreign Relations, and Budget Committees. Senator, you say you've been warning about the risk of stagflation for over a year. You certainly have been pushing back on all of the spending. Do you think that the COVID relief package that Biden signed into law and the other spending over the last year is the reason for this 40-year high inflation?
I don't think there's any doubt that that is exactly what's causing the inflation. Inflation is pretty easy to define. It's too many dollars chasing too few goods. And I always talk about the triple whammy. You have President Biden declaring a war on fossil fuels, drives up gasoline prices to record levels, high energy prices. Then you print all these dollars, trillions of dollars, and you spend those dollars, making it possible for people not to enter the workforce and sit on the sidelines, so manufacturers can't fill out shifts, they can't meet demand for the goods. So you have way too many dollars chasing even fewer goods, and you have high energy prices and record gas prices. So it's obvious what's causing this. And I have been warning about stagflation for well over a year when Democrats passed their $1.9 trillion partisan COVID relief package, when we had $1 trillion left unspent from the previous packages, which a couple of those I voted against as well because I was concerned about the inflationary impact of those as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the inflation timeline right now, and it's obvious, very obvious to anybody who watches that inflation was at 1.4% in January. And on that first day in office, that after inauguration, the first thing he did was cancel the XL pipeline. So that was one of the most important movers in terms of sending oil prices higher. Do you think he is unaware that he's saying things that are just, in fact, not true? Is someone writing the script that is setting him up for this? I mean, you can't say that we're the fastest growing economy in the world after we just saw a contraction. You can't say that our inflation is, better than everybody else in the world. We just have to look it up. These are things that you can check.
He may be delusional. He's obviously showing the signs of age, and that's sad. He lied about not ever talking to Hunter about his overseas business deals. But I think the bigger lie is he claimed to be a moderate. He's not a moderate. He's governing as a radical leftist. He promised to fundamentally transform America, and we're now seeing what that means. Open borders, 40-year high inflation, record gasoline prices, rising crime. We don't have baby formula. They're fundamentally destroying this nation. And it's because of their radical left policies. These things didn't just happen. This isn't just bad luck on his watch. He caused all of these crises. He and his colleagues, his enablers in Congress. These individuals are radical leftists. They need to be stopped.
Well, there's also, a story specific to Biden and the Biden family, and that is the influence peddling and the money that they've taken in over the years. He's been in, Congress, in the Senate for 40 years. The Washington Examiner has released bombshell new audio of Hunter Biden. And Hunter is pretty much bragging about his influence over his father. Back in December of 2018, the first son says that the president views him as, quote, a god, and that he would say anything Hunter asked him to say. The tape is from a 77-minute recording found on his infamous laptop, Senator. What do you know about this? I know that you've gone through the laptop in your investigation of the influence peddling.
Well, on one hand, Maria, I feel sorry for the Biden family. They've suffered real tragedy. But I feel even more sorry for the country that is being subjected to Joe Biden's governance. Again, he lied to us repeatedly. He continues to lie to us. And, the laptop is just a treasure trove of information that just confirms what Senator Grassa and I tried to warn America about. Joe Biden is unfit for office. He's compromised by his vast web of financial foreign entanglements. Obviously, you can see how troubled his son was. You start seeing that interconnectedness. You start seeing exactly to the extent that Joe Biden did lie to the American public. Again, he's simply unfit for office. You throw on top of that his cognitive decline, the sign of age, again, which is just sad. But again, I grieve for America. We are being subjected to his governance, and it's a disaster for this country.
Well, I mean, then there's the wide open border. I mean, every policy, one by one, you look at, and it's just hurting American families. Now the Department of Homeland Security is going to be punishing the Border Patrol agents who were falsely accused of, quote, whipping Haitian migrants last summer. We knew this was false when they said it. A federal source says that the discipline is in response to, quote, administrative violations. An announcement is expected within days. These agents were cleared of criminal charges. They will have an opportunity to respond, Senator. But why punish these border agents?
Because the Biden administration has to find scapegoats. They refuse to accept responsibility. You know, I've had mayorkas before our committee. I keep trying to ask him, I mean, would you admit this is a crisis? How about just call it a problem? All he'll say is it's a challenge. They won't admit that this is a crisis at the border. It is 7,800 people per day in the month of April. We don't have May's figures yet. This is a full-blown crisis, but they won't admit it's a crisis, and they certainly aren't going to admit that they are the root cause of that. It is their policies. They dismantled the successful policies of the previous administration that pretty well stopped the flow of unaccompanied children, of families exploiting our asylum laws. It's Democrat presidential candidates that said they weren't going to deport anybody. They're going to offering people free health care. That's a huge magnet. And then when you just see the reality of the situation that he's thrown open the borders, the only restraint right now is Title 42, and he's fighting in court to end that as well. This administration wants open borders. Democrats want open borders. I can't explain it, but it's destructive to our country.
It's destructive, of course. Real quick before you go, Senator, you have your own reelection campaign coming up. What will be your priority should you win your campaign in November?
Well, first of all, we need to get inflation out of control. We need to stop all this deficit spending. We have to control our border. We've got to get energy prices down. Those would be three big ones. But I'm going to have a tough re-election. They've already spent $34 million against me, Maria, and I don't even have an opponent. I've got the worst opponent. I've got the mainstream media. So RonJohnsonForSenate.com if you want to see me get reelected and continue my investigations and try and get inflation under control. All
right, Senator, good to see you this morning. Thanks very much. Senator Ron Johnson joining us this morning.